Hello folks, Emily the Pharmacist Witch here. A few days ago I did a video on how I found my sense of strength and power in my body through movement. And this video is to say that is not the only way to find your strength and your sense of power in your body. There are many. And in fact, I think movement, even finding your preferred movement, it doesn't necessarily mean you will find your power. I've met plenty of folks who view movement as a way to punish their bodies. And so the mindset there is really quite important. If you're moving because you feel like you've had some kind of, dietary indiscretion, or you're doing it out of some kind of unkindness or uncompassionate place, you might not feel that sense of freedom in the movement that you're doing. And so I guess mindset just really is key to the movement. If you're moving your body in order to love that body, that I think is where movement is so powerful. But enough about movement. There are plenty of other ways to find your strength, to find your power, to find your home in your body. And movement wasn't the first thing for me that helped me feel connected to my own. It was a hug from a friend, which I'll talk about later. But I think the first thing that I found helpful for me in finding home in my body is a little bit of a paradox. It's been finding some separation from my body. It's been finding ways to see my body as a container, as a vessel that I am a steward of. I kind of think about this in terms of my dog. I love her body just radically, compassionately. Like her little paws, I could just smell that little grassy smell. I could just put my face in that belly all day. Like, I love her body. Her little butt scratches, I just love everything about her. There is no stopgap in my ability to love my dog's body. And so why can't we have that for our own bodies? And this is, I think, where having just a little bit of separation, right? Ellie, my little dog's body, is not mine. I'm able to have that compassion for it. And so, ways I've been able to find a little bit of separation from my own body, certainly gratitude. So at the end of the day, figuring out what is it about my body that I am grateful for? Whether it's something that my body allowed me to do or a certain part of my body that I'm grateful for, but just that practice gives enough distance that I can see it as something separate, something that I am tending to, caring for, stewarding, and not something that is necessarily of me. And for whatever reason, that separation has allowed me to love my body better. Another way to generate that separation, I think, is mindfulness regarding the body. So, you might pick, for example, one body part and just sort of be mindful of what it's doing for you throughout the day. You might pick your left pinky finger and just activate that reticular activating system, that kind of Google search function in your brain, to notice every time that left pinky finger is doing something or touching something, or how is it working for you. Be mindful of all the ways that it is serving you, I suppose is the word. And again, that little bit of separation, I think it can help us love our physical home here a little bit more. I think another really powerful one is our ability to just touch ourselves. I remember once taking a shower, and I have Dove soap, and the smell reminds me of my grandmother. It's a comforting smell. And I remember I was soaping up my skin in the shower, and I was in a rush, I'm sure, because it was in the morning and I was trying to get off to work. But I dropped that bar of soap 5 times. I dropped it and I was so mad. I was like, why can't I hold on to the dang bar of soap? And I was like, there's something to learn here. And so I took a step back and I realized, this is an opportunity to slow down and to really appreciate my body as I am soaping it up. And that prevented me from dropping that soap again. And it also started me just, again, loving my body a little better. When I'm in the shower, I'm intentional about it. I take my time, washing my body. When I put lotion on, I do it on purpose. I do it with compassion. If my husband is putting sunscreen on me too roughly, I'll tell him. I'll be like, hey, there's a person here, right? The act of touch, of self-touch, can be really powerful in helping us connect a little better. And another tip kind of on that line. I had a patient in his 70s. He had actually recovered from a near-death experience, and his advice, in his wisdom, as a 70-something-year-old person, was to hug yourself every morning when you wake up and every night before you go to bed. So like physically wrap your arms around yourself and hug yourself. And that touch is really powerful. So if you needed an excuse, you have one now. Go ahead and give yourself big hugs as often as you want. I actually find I do this throughout the day. If I'm finding I'm crossing my arms, I will intentionally change the direction of my hands and I will hold myself instead. And again, doing it with intention, doing it on purpose, I take those opportunities to show my body gratitude and love. That's been really powerful. Along those lines, like the idea of a squeeze, I love a squeeze, whether it's for myself or clothing. I think another big way you can show your body love is the clothing you choose. I was definitely someone who didn't think a lot about how clothing felt on my body. I would kind of pick something out and say, does it look good enough? Like, okay, I'll get it. I ended up buying a lot of clothes on Stitch Fix because they were like good enough, fine, and I didn't want to be bothered to send them back. So I ended up with all of these clothes that I realized later don't actually like feel good. So whether you like more natural fibers, linen, cotton, wool, some people prefer those. Whether you prefer something loose that skims the skin or something tight, I find I really gravitate toward kind of things that squeeze, things that are tighter on my body. It just feels good for me right now where I am at this point in time. I've been known to like wear a sports bra to bed because it feels like a hug all night. It's just my body's preference, but you will have your own preferences in terms of clothing, so you can honor your body with those choices. And then, there are ways that we can seek out positive touch and ways to honor our bodies from other folks. Think about massage. I have had some pretty wonderful massages in my life. One of them tops the charts. And so I think, when you're thinking about where to get a massage, I do think the context matters. I think you can find great massage therapists anywhere, but I've found that going to like a resort, the massage therapists are not necessarily there to be, healers to build relationships with clients. They're kind of serving people for a brief period and then they kind of go off. But I had a massage. I was in a gunkwit with a bunch of girlfriends, and one of my girlfriends and I had a couples massage. And this, it is a resort town, but this particular place, this particular like little mini spa, Your Body Works in a gunkwit, if you're interested. It was definitely, it catered to people who were repeat customers. And the two of us had this epic experience. Like, it was the first time I felt like I had experienced witchcraft. My friend and I left that massage, looked at each other, and were like, did you have the experience that I had? And we were both like, yeah, it was magic. I think I didn't know it at the time, but I suspect there was Reiki and massage happening simultaneously, and it was awesome. So all that is to say, massage can be just a tremendous way to feel your body honored by someone else. Just be thoughtful about who it is that you're entrusting to do that. Go with your gut. Your little gut is the strongest compass you have. So if this is something that appeals to you, follow that compass to find the person who will do the job the best. I found out the other day that I was having my hair cut, and my hair salon does a little scalp massage as they're washing your hair, and it is just magic. And at some point, a little bit after my hair was washed, I was talking to my hairstylist, and I said, I think that all of the stress and anxiety and, badness of the world would melt away if everyone had regular head massages. And she looked at me and she goes, well, there is a new spa, a new salon that does just that. So she gave me a link, and it is what I will get my husband for Christmas this year. It is something that I will want to try as well. I'll put the link there. I haven't tried it yet myself, but I do trust my hairstylist very much. So if it's something that you're interested in, I think, a head massage, again, something really powerful to help you feel at home in your body with someone else's touch. that area in particular, it's just so vulnerable, right? It's this, you know, home for our brain, this heavy, important globe, and just to have someone really love it with their hands is magic. So that's another thing I recommend. And then the last one is just hugs from other people. So I like to think about my journey going from feeling trapped in my life, trapped in my body, just feeling like I didn't have a sense of freedom. It all kicked off with a hug from a good friend. It was in that hug I felt like my body was honored. I wasn't super happy with it, but that friendship, that friend made it feel worthwhile. And, you know, it's something that I've taken with me after that. When I said goodbye to my patients, I asked permission, I asked for consent, right? But I asked if I could hug them goodbye. And, you know, everybody said yes. And it was in those hugs that I felt like there's so much communicated, I think, in a sense of touch that we just don't have the words for. That compassion, that confidence that I felt in them, that love, right? I loved these people that I had been meeting with. I loved these people. And the hugs felt like the truest way I had been able to show that in all the time that I had been working with them. So hugs are a really powerful way to feel your body be honored, especially by someone else. Consent is good. Consent is important, I think. And, you know, it's okay to ask for a hug if you need a hug. My sister-in-law lives with me, and periodically we will just ask each other for a hug, and we do a good squeeze, like a good deep squeeze. And it's okay to ask for what you need. And there are people who are going to be so happy. Probably most people are going to be so happy to give you that hug. When I'm asked for a hug, I feel flattered, right? It's, you know, it's something that we can do for each other that really just honors these bodies that we have, these amazing vessels that carry us around. So I hope that you're open to trying one of these or more of these to feel that sense of strength and home and love for your body, because it is beautiful, it is powerful, it is magic, and it is this home we get to live in here. So go hug yourself. Thank you.